What's going on, everybody? How are you all this evening? This is a little bit different live stream. Leslie's going to be joining us in a few minutes to go over some of our questions that have come in through Patreon this week. But before we do that, I'm waiting for a guest to pop in because we want to talk some more about this here guitar building situation. So, I see him ringing in. Hang on one second.
Exist, but
Add left. And there we are. What is happening? I see you.
I don't know if we're on yet.
Okay.
Are we
You
on?
are. Yeah.
Hey, Dylan.
How are you?
Look who was very fortuitous that we decided to do this today because I thought I knew Steve was going to be coming by sometime today, but I didn't know when. And so we lucked out that he was going to be here because Steve is making all of the necks for the workshop that you and I are doing this month and a bunch of other months. Did you see what he brought?
I did. The scalloped Ingve.
Cool?
Yes. It's very cool.
What should we make with this is my question. And when should we make it and why should we wait until the workshop that you're going to be in to do it?
So let me grab a guitar that inspires me when you talk about this. Hang on.
Okay.
We were discussing Kramer earlier in your live stream, and I have this gorgeous.
Louis Excellente.
Right? So something, and you and I were discussing earlier today, a single humbucker, something, Floydy thing, scallopy frets, fast. You know what I mean? Yeah.
We need to scooch it. We need to scooch. Actually, can we just scooch the camera, Chris? Sorry, Dylan. We want to get framed correctly. So I think if you can move it a little towards this a wise, is that better? That looks pretty good.
That works. Yeah, when we split screen, I think it squishes us together a little bit.
Okay.
So
the one thing that this does not feature is a Floyd Rose locking nut shelf. It looks like we could put it on there.
Well, then, if that was the case, if you didn't want to do that, then we could just do a two-post. I mean, like a Van Halen-y Wilkinson kind of thing. Like that would work.
What you may not know is that Steve also dropped off a brand new, super cool Strat trim template that works with virtually everything now.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. We know it works with the Fender,
new and improved.
The Fender trim and the hip shot trim, and lots and lots and lots of cool other stuff. So anyway,
so let's talk. Let's talk about the reason Matt from Texas Toast is here and Steve from Maximum Guitar Works is here is because we're going to talk about this guitar a little bit and what we're doing in less than 2 weeks, dude. This is happening in less than 2 weeks. And some of the possibilities for the future, some of the possibilities for right now. I mentioned it in my live stream on Tuesday, because I did a little live stream on Tuesday, that because we had a couple of extra spots left in the class, and it's pretty late notice, so I get it if someone can't buy a plane ticket at the last minute, that Matt and I were talking about taking one of those spots and building one of these guitars that somebody could buy.
Now, Doug Santaniello has reached out to me and said that he wants one of the guitars.
Okay.
And that one will say designed by Dylan, built by Doug Santaniello on the back or something like that.
Cool.
Everyone who comes to the workshop, their neck will say designed by Dylan, built by their name. Now, we need to add a wrinkle, though.
Okay.
I need to know by tomorrow how many people want what, because Steve's leaving town Wednesday, right? So we've got to get this stuff going.
So if you want me and Matt and Chris to build you a guitar, because I will be there, and because you're not there, I'm going to wind your pickups, and I'm going
Yep.
to wire it and stuff.
Mhm.
So if you want me and Matt and Chris to build you a guitar while this
And
class
Steve,
is
don't forget
going,
Steve.
and
Steve's
Steve,
doing
oh,
a lot of the next step. So yeah.
Steve's doing a very cool part of this guitar.
Uh,
So if you want us to do that, get with Matt tonight or tomorrow,
you have to
and
get with me tonight or tomorrow at the very latest.
because and then if you do that, then you'll be able to have your name engraved on the back of the neck, um, just like we were talking about, and pick your color and
Dylan, do you want to just go ahead? We're doing one for Doug. We're doing all the classic guitars. Do you want to do another one just in case?
yeah,
Or
I think we should do one for Doug, do the class guitars, and do one extra one.
okay,
That's the one. That's the one we want to find a home for.
okay.
So
And then if a bunch of people decide they want to get with me and
yeah,
essentially buy a slot in the class in the workshop,
even if you can't be there,
even if you can't be there, it's the same money. You just get the guitar. So yeah.
yeah, because I think Matt and Chris and I and Steve decided that the price of the class, if you were to buy this guitar built, uh, would be a great value, even if you just bought the guitar. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, so that's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna make all the pickups for them for the folks that can't make it to the class and that sort of thing. So, and also don't forget too that if you can't do any of this stuff, um, use code Texas Toast at DylanPickups.com, DylanTalksTone.com, and you get 10% off anything. So if you have a project at home and you are not able to make it to any of this stuff, but you still want pickups, uh, you can do that as well.
Steve, have you
Oh,
ever seen this guitar that Dylan's holding? I don't know if you can
I,
see it in the.
I think I saw it before you shipped it off, didn't I? Or are you talking about the other one he was holding?
No, this one right here.
Yeah, yeah, I saw it before you shipped it.
So the neat thing about this, Steve, is everything on this is made possible thanks to your necks and your templates, and it makes it easy, and the chances are of success are 100%.
Yeah.
You can come to one of our workshops, and we guarantee you that if it's this one, even if you've never built a guitar ever, you will walk out with something playable,
Yeah.
awesome. And when your wife has a dinner party, you'll be like, "Oh, let me show you what
Check
I
this
need."
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a really, really cool thing, and we've
And
you.
And I think
Thanks to you, and thanks to Dylan, and thanks to Chris, there are the success rate is 100%.
and I think because we're engraving their name on
Yep.
this, that's what's going to make it unique. Is
I think so too. Yeah.
that's really
your-
something to show off.
Yeah.
so I wanted to just bring these guys in on this because this is, well, I'm surprised it's awesome to have Steve here because it makes total sense.
Yeah, I didn't know Steve was going to be here for this, so it worked out great.
Because he's literally like this half is
Yeah.
is all his handiwork, and what the cool part is,
And his template sets,
This-
don't forget. Yep.
and this half is going to be all your handiwork if you come to this class, and if you don't come to this class, then you'll still get something super cool. So
Now you get to shape the guitar, you get to do all the fretwork, you get to wind the pickups, you get to paint the guitar, you get to did I forget sanding? Don't forget.
You get to
There'll be
sand.
plenty of
Best
sanding.
part right there.
You get to wire it all up, cut the nut, string it up. You get to rock out, and by Friday you will be playing an heirloom instrument.
Yep.
No doubt.
Yeah, and honestly, I've been playing it a bunch, and it's I used it in a bunch of demos today for a new pedal demo that I've got coming out on the channel.
Cool.
It's a great guitar. We also have these classes coming in next March, I think.
That's right. We
And
do.
so-
Now that
so
one's
that's-
almost full.
Is it really? That's
It is.
awesome. No,
Yep.
that's cool. And then so I just wanted to share it, and I wanted you to come on and talk about it. So that's the deadline is tomorrow, though. So if you're
Yeah.
interested in it,
Deadline is tomorrow. Now, the other thing I forgot to mention is the necks that you'll be getting are roasted or torrefied roasted maple
Yep.
with Wangi or Wenge fretboards. Um, and then, Steve, can you talk a little bit about the neck stiffening components that are going into all of these?
Yeah, so top of the line stuff. So carbon fiber rods to provide extra rigidity to the
Mm-hmm.
neck. We're also doing the higher end stainless steel truss rods,
Yeah.
just a little upscale to that.
With
The spoke wheel.
spoke wheel.
Spoke
Yeah.
wheel adjustment
Yep.
in the heel. What else?
It's Gucci everything.
Yeah,
And
Hip
hot
shot
dog
tuners.
fret.
And that's right. We're going to be
Ah.
doing the hemispherical fret ends.
yep,
Um,
all blind.
so that's right. All the fret slots are blind on this, so there's no pokey outies. There's nothing showing on the side. The frets actually end before the fretboard does. So this is all Gucci stuff, and everything is included. If you decide to come to one of these workshops, every single thing is included on the Ultimate Guitar Build with Dylan workshop, because that's the only way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way to make sure that you get this the what everybody wants. So plus this is Dylan's this workshop it's kind of Dylan's Dylan and I's brainchild, and we were like, let's just make it be the best thing that we can possibly make it be. So
Yeah.
no excuses. Everything is superb.
That's one of the things I like about what you do at Texas Toast is there's a point of entry for everybody along the way, if that makes sense. So Matt and Chris do have a very basic, like, put together a telly style guitar. It's a less expensive class, but you bring your own hardware and stuff. So there's a little bit of lower entry point there, or you could just cut out the body and the neck.
Was we used to offer all the stuff, and people were like, well, I want all different stuff. Can I just bring my own thing, or can you source this? And it just became easier to what we did was we lowered the price of that workshop, and we just said, you got to bring your own stuff. So, yeah.
What I think is cool about this, though, is at this price point and at this level of quality of stuff, you will not go home and be like, dang it, I wish I would have bought this bridge. Oh, I wish I would have gone with these tuners instead. Oh, I wish I would have done, because all of the stuff is top shelf stuff. This stuff is not, if you go price, well, first of all, if you go to Warmouth, you can't option this neck. No matter how many buttons you click, you can't option this neck. So, for example, so Steve is a really awesome resource.
Dylan, let me ask you, why would you go to Warmouth when you can go to Maximum Guitar Works?
Well, because most people think first, they think, I'll just go get it at Warmouth. But these options are not available. And
we would like to try and change the whole paradigm here. And
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that totally.
I think that anyone who comes to one of these workshops and uses one of Steve's necks, okay, let me just tell you, I don't make Fender necks anymore. I just don't.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah. 100%. Well, awesome. Thanks, guys, for joining me for a few minutes and talking about this and noting the sense of urgency to it, because I'm not saying I didn't know about tomorrow, but I didn't know how hard
I didn't know about tomorrow until just today. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great, so that everybody knows that. I'm really excited about this. We actually leave a week from Friday, I think.
Cool.
And
will you be staying in the Flaherty RV lot?
I probably will be staying at the Flaherty RV Resort some. So yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And we will have,
for the so make sure to tell Leslie that it's not cold, but bring cold weather clothing just in case. It's cold.
Okay. I will tell her that. She's actually going to be joining us in a few minutes for the rest of our Q&A live. So
before we let Steve, is there anything else that you wanted to tell people about before we wrap up this portion? I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I don't think that fast, Matt.
Okay.
So there's lots of things going on, and I will mention this. We had to turn off our custom template page temporarily because I was overwhelmed by the number of requests for custom templates.
Okay.
And I couldn't keep up, and I felt bad how long it was taking and still taking for some of those.
Okay.
So when I get the back orders of my custom template orders complete,
Okay.
I will open up that channel again.
Cool.
But probably limit it to like 5 at a time, and when they sell out,
That's
I knock
just
out
the way.
5 at a time.
Okay. All right. Neat.
So just so people don't get concerned that we're going to do something and now they can't.
Okay.
You will be able to. It'll just be a little while.
And I'm sure. Okay. Yeah. All right. Excellent. Okay.
I am
cool.
really stoked that your stuff is so well accepted. That's awesome because it is awesome to use.
Yep.
So, cool. Well, we're going to go ahead and go on with the rest of our live stream. Not to kick you out, but I'm going to kick you out. You guys go have a
I've
beer.
got stuff I need to do tonight.
And thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit. And I'm going to bring Leslie in here, and we're going to do the rest of our live stream. Thanks, Steve, for the surprise show up also.
Good seeing you.
Thanks, you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, we'll see you. Well, hey, that was pretty cool. I like that little feature where we can just hit a button and have friends over. Like, you know, from Colorado. And then we just slide on in like this. Normal. And everything is cool.
What is normal?
What is normal? How are you? You were all the way in there.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah. So I just want to go early a little bit and talk to those guys. I didn't know Steve from Maximum was going to be there.
Bonus.
So that was a pretty cool bonus thing. And yeah. So thanks for hanging out. Now it is 8 o'clock and it is actually our regularly scheduled program of Q&A stuff. On this Thursday, we have a couple of questions that have come in, but not too many. So if you have guitar related or not related, I don't care. Off topic, doesn't matter to me. I don't know much about the Queen. So, you know.
The Queen.
Yeah, don't ask me much about English monarch history because I have no idea about that stuff. But.
Unless it was on the crown. That was pretty good.
Oh,
show.
yeah. Unless it's in the show, then I might be able to. Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah. So, other than that, get in the comments, ask a bunch of questions, and we'll try to get to them. You can use, can we get the pink? I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't
You didn't give
matter.
me any room. You have so much stuff on the table.
It's because I had the amp. We were going to play the guitar live.
You can leave it. I'll just move mine because I don't have room anyway.
Okay. So, anyway, that's what we got going.
Pink cup.
And then if you guys saw the thumbnail, the thumbnail is a result of one of the questions that came in from Patreon. I'm doing the thumbnails a little different on Thursday.
Okay.
Instead of trying to think of a topic to put up there and for us to talk about, I thought it would be cool to use some of the questions that have come in, because here's what happens. Sometimes people will get on Patreon and they'll ask a question that's to be featured tonight on the screen. That's how that works. And then the next person on Patreon will ask a similar question because the first question prompts a similar, and then there will be sort of a theme, right? Like people will talk about necks. People will talk about
that makes sense.
Pickups.
So be first.
Yeah, so be the first one. Anyway, and then I'm like, all right, well then that will probably shape the conversation of what's going on tonight. So we're going to use that as a thumbnail. So I've been being a little later with thumbnails coming out on Thursday, but also I want to make sure that we give our Patreon folks a proper shout out because they,
Did you get
paid
a super chat?
I did not get my super chat. Sorry, Thomas. We were talking about
catching
stuff.
up. So, late super chat from Thomas Tourville. Thank you for the super chat. He says, hi, Dylan and Leslie and Texas Toast.
Yeah, they're awesome. Thomas, so we had a live stream a couple weeks ago where we talked about some guitars that we were going to buy. And Thomas, he actually wanted a couple of them, but I got the Jazzmaster in last week, and I made the pickups for it today. So I'm going to put that guitar tomorrow and start playing that this weekend and making a video with it. But it's a really good guitar. So that's going to be super fun. So the thumbnail tonight is something about, I don't even remember now, does fretboard material matter?
Yeah. Because I I remembered that because the first few comments are related.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you why I asked it. One, because there's a question about it that came in on Patreon that we'll get to in a minute. And two, it's so subjective that it's one of those things I want to get your thoughts on. And I have a couple thoughts too. And yeah, so we'll talk about it. So get in the comments and let me know how much fretboard material matters to you and why. And also, is there any fretboard material that you dislike so much that you cannot have it on a guitar? And why is that also? I'm just curious. There's no wrong answer. I'm just curious about it. Because people get real opinionated about this, obviously. It's not quite as involved as pickguard color, but pretty close.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what was some of our early questions? Our early comments?
Are you ready to talk about the subject? Yeah.
Oh.
I guess that's what you just
Yeah,
said.
let's do it.
Stinky Whizzle Teats says, all I know is if I'm doing a refret, I much prefer a nice piece of rosewood to anything else.
Probably because you like how it refrets, how the frets come out and how the new ones go in.
Martian Murray says, I like a light or dark fretboard depending on the color of the guitar. I haven't noticed a sonic difference.
I go by color too. For the most part.
I feel like there was at least one more. Lauren Shipley had 2 Strats, same production model, same pickups and electronics, one maple, one rosewood. Could not tell a difference in their sound. Even so, I hate maple. I think because it's more difficult or costly to repair.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, so that was the fretboard stuff that came in earlier. Let me pop back over here. Looks like we're going to miss... Oh, it is... It comes to me like it looks like a super chat, but that is because Fanshake Guitars is celebrating 22 months of membership. That is so cool. It's almost 2 years. I honestly don't care about the fretboard material so long as it looks good.
Yep.
Thanks, Ivan.
I'll give you my opinion on it in a few minutes. I want to hear everybody else's first. I don't want mine to affect anybody.
You think everybody else has opinions?
Oh, I'm sure.
Wayne Hussey says, yes, it does. Ebony doesn't ding as easily. Rosewood feels great, but can be fragile. Lacquered maple is cheaper than ebony. Feel, no preference.
Interesting.
Gary Simmons. Regarding the fretboard, it's a feel thing more than a tone thing. Sometimes a rosewood can be rough compared to ebony or maple.
Interesting. So
Jeffrey Egan says ebony definitely feels different. That's more of a question. We'll leave that one. Eric Hensley 67. I struggle a little with maple fretboards. It's sticky to me.
Oh, yeah. I get that.
Super Lead 100. I don't really like maple fretboards. I prefer dark rosewood and ebony. Unbound Odysseus. I don't really have a preference. I feel like it's all just aesthetics. Cleaning and oiling rosewood boards makes them feel nice to play.
That is real. I get that.
Super chat from DP. Thank you for the super chat. Bought an 88 AM standard telly. American standard telly. It has a coil split, 90s era Seymour Duncan, jazz neck humbucker in the neck. Do you know anything about these pickups? Thanks. Love the channel.
Yes, those are very popular. Especially in that time era. Jazz are very popular. They're really hot. And they're really smooth on top. That's why they call them that. And yeah, they were really popular in that time period. I would hang on to that pickup even if you changed them. People that use JB and Jazz pickups, typically, if they call me, I'll put them in a center punch pickup because it puts them in the same sonic area, just with a little more top end and clarity, and better coil splitting abilities. But similar in that nice mid-rangey punch. But if you ever change your pickup in your guitar, don't get rid of that. Keep it around, because those are hard. That's neat to have one that old. That's pretty neat.
All right, you want to get some of these more comments?
Can we get the super chat, or can we get these two Patreon questions first, and then we'll go back to those because they're kind of related.
Okay.
And that's what got us there, and I would really like to cover those.
Okay. I just don't want to lose my place.
Okay.
Ivan. Hey, Dylan and Leslie. I'm working on a set of Strat single coils. If I want to add a metal back, like on a telly, does the metal need to be magnetic like steel? If not, will it make as much of a difference?
It will not make as much of a difference, if at all. It does need to be steel. All telly bridge pickups have steel on the bottom if they're legit ones. Even the ones that look like copper are copper plated steel. People think they're not, but they are. They're copper plated steel. They're magnetic. Yep.
And then we have Rob. Hello, Dylan and Leslie. When I changed guitar strings recently, I noticed small gouges in the fretboard where I play most. Can waiting too long between string changes cause this type of damage? Or is this from my early months of practice when I still press down way too hard on the guitar neck? Thank you.
You can press down on the guitar neck and cause that wear. It does happen if you don't press down. If you look like at a properly old Telecaster, for example, you'll see those little teardrops underneath all the strings, where your hands, because your hands will, even if you're playing and you're pressing, your hands will still touch in between the strings some. So it will cause wear over time. And on a rosewood fretboard, that will manifest as a divot in it because there is no finish. So, yeah. So, but it's, honestly, I would be more worried about the frets, because you would wear out frets. But chances are it was just you learning and everything's going to be fine. And I wouldn't stress about it on the guitar either. It's not really going to hurt anything over a period of time, unless they're really bad. But people want that. People pay extra for that.
Yeah. So just the two?
Yep.
All right. You want more fretboard?
Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll get some questions.
Brian Phelps says, I have both maple and rosewood. No preference. I have two of the maple necks that are roasted. I don't know. Maybe he means prefer to have, I don't know, roasted maple. Something about roasted maple. Sorry, Brian Phelps. John Own 11 can't play any Roddy. I'll try anything. Don't notice a difference in feel or sound. Still can't play them, even if the wood is exotic. Windsurf Maui. I prefer ebony, dark rosewood, but also like very figured woods like Gonsalvo or Canary.
Oh, nice. That's interesting.
And now I'm going to lose my place. All right, let me do this different. Don't do it yet.
Okay.
Okay, go.
I think we just got another super chat. That's why.
I know. That's why I was trying not to lose my place.
Oh, okay. DP, super chat. Another one. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the super chat. Just a little extra for giving such a coherent, detailed answer regarding the Duncan Jazz neck pickup. Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's really
very
nice.
much. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll tell you what I think.
Are we skipping everybody else?
No.
Okay.
We can. Yeah. We'll take theirs. Yeah. I just want to keep it going.
I have plenty to go.
I know.
Oh, and it did roll up.
Did it?
I don't know.
Well, while you're figuring that out,
Okay, go.
I'm going to tell you a few things that I think about this. I don't care so much which one I have. Tonally doesn't matter to me at all. I don't even care. Because here's why. you could say that the fretboard material makes a difference to the tone, but who cares? You just have a guitar with a maple fretboard and you have a guitar with a rosewood fretboard, and that guitar sounds how it sounds. I don't think it makes a difference, and I think people are blowing smoke when they say that. But, there's a huge but here. It makes you play the guitar different because it's your interface with the guitar. So you play the guitar different. If you were to switch necks on the same guitar, you would play it differently. Then you would sound differently. So in that respect, it makes a big deal. Tap testing and all that other junk I think is kind of dumb. But my main thing is I like, which is really interesting what folks were saying about this. And this is why I was very curious. Like, people were talking about rosewood, right? And they were saying, I don't like how maybe it feels a little rough or something. Like didn't somebody say something about it feeling kind of rough or the edges of it feeling different and they like something smoother or whatever? I feel like because there's so much oils in rosewood, and as it wears especially, it gets almost kind of naturally, easily shiny. Now, this isn't rosewood, but right here on the edges, that I feel like rosewood feels smoother and better and more natural.
I feel like people are saying maple was rougher. You don't think?
No, because maple usually has like a urethane finish over the top.
I don't know what they were saying then. Okay.
This is wenge, which actually is even almost kind of more porous, but it's so pretty that it's just a neat.
You can see it when it's like in that light beam when you had it sitting over there. I could see the grooves and
all the grains and texture in the wood. It's just such a neat wood, and I am a massive fan of this roasted maple as far as a neck goes, and even on the fretboard too. The only downside with roasted maple is it can feel kind of or look kind of dirty after a while, which is a little interesting. But yeah, I got that PRS Fiore, and that's the only guitar I have right now with a maple fretboard. And I really like it, but I do think to myself, I wish this was rosewood. Yeah. It doesn't make me not want the guitar, though. I don't go like, I would never buy a guitar with X or Y. I just prefer rosewood.
Keep talking.
Those are my thoughts. I think, but I'm also one to try stuff on purpose. I want to try some kind of weird wood on purpose, or try, there are people that say I can't play a certain whatever, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I understand why you make that decision, but I don't know that that's actually true.
Super chat from 38 Flower. Thank you for the super chat.
Mm-hmm.
How about the difference between round
laminated or slab? Yeah, so what he's talking about is, and I've showed you this before, we've had him before, in the early 60s, right here.
Did you just use your knife for a pointer?
Yeah, I've been using a knife for a pointer lately. Yeah. It keeps my bad fingernails out of the shot. So, see how this has this little overhang right here? And how this is actually a flat slab that goes on top of the neck?
Yeah.
Well, they used to have in the early 60s on Fenders, they would actually mill the neck with a radius, and they would laminate the fretboard thinly over the top of it. And so, and it would be very thin on the side edges. So it wouldn't be like edges, a piece of wood and there would be no piece of wood on the,
I didn't know that.
Very thin. And it was...
So is that the difference? Are you telling the people the difference?
That's what the difference is between those two. That's what he's talking about. I think the laminated necks are super cool. I just don't have one because I don't have an early 60s Fender. But those are very cool, and I've played a lot of them, and I think they're neat. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Great question. We wouldn't have brought that up otherwise, probably.
Somebody said, nice pointer.
It's a fast pointer.
All right. There were some other comments. I'd have to, I'm sure I can grab them though.
Okay.
Let's see. I just had to start grabbing them all. Kevin O'Lear, love maple fretboards. Roasted maple, even better.
Same.
Timothy Potter says, I'm loving this catching you live business.
Oh, good. These are fun, man.
Curtis Chavez. I prefer my fingerboards shaken, not stirred. Just kidding. I have no preference for fingerboard material, but certain guitar finishes look better with certain fingerboard materials or colors.
Agreed.
Dances with Badgers. My preference is rosewood, as I like how it feels. Ebony is fun, if a little shrill sounding. Maple would be fun too, but I hate the feel of varnished fretboard.
Me too.
Alan Walker says, hi from Baja, Mexico. I prefer rosewood boards just for the look. Mark Stanton, most of my guitars have rosewood, especially the acoustics, but I have a slab maple neck on a Strat I really like.
Interesting. Yep.
Rick Nardo says, Peo Ferro is a no-go for me only because I am colorblind to various shades of red, green, blue, brown, and purple. Peo Ferro legit looks gray to me, and I'm not about it.
And some of them are really ugly. And if you can't tell because of your color blindness, you could be playing an ugly looking fretboard and not know it, and that would suck.
Well, it sounds like they're all ugly to him.
Yeah, that's interesting. So Pale Ferro is really good. It's great. It feels great. It works great. There's a reason why they're using it a lot. Availability wise and stuff, it's great, but you have to get the right one, man. Like I've had really like road cone orange looking fretboards that were gross, and then I've had really good almost rosewood looking fretboards, and they're kind of all over the place. And so, like, especially if you're ordering through the internet or something and you can't really see it, it can be a bit of a crapshoot. I think Fender's getting better at those. Fender specifically is getting better at those, but they're also using Indian Laurel, which is what I have on a couple of these guitars now, and it's good too.
Oh, a bug just landed on my nose. That was
see that
awkward.
Bug flying around.
Van Shank Guitar says, my fretless bass has the phenolic fretboard. It plays fast.
I love Richlight. I'm surprised nobody has brought that up yet.
Michael Poole says, no real preference. Don't like the resin, though. It definitely feels sticky to me.
Okay. I think there's a lot of preference that goes into this based on, we've talked about body chemistry before. Like, yeah, you have
Where is it like me?
I don't know. It's right here. There's like a little gnat flying around. The same reason why nitrocellulose lacquer on the backs of necks bugs me, because my body like breaks it down different and it feels sticky. And he was just saying that he thought a certain neck felt sticky because of the resins in it, and I'm like, I like it because it feels smooth, but that could literally be because of our body chemistry difference.
Yeah,
it's real. It makes sense.
All right, I think Doc is here. Greetings from Spain.
Oh, that's right. He is in Spain.
I like darker fretboards as a rule. Ebony and rosewood are tops for me.
Same. I would go ebony also on an acoustic guitar. It doesn't have to be the black anymore. I have a marbled ebony on my Breedlove, and has these like metallic silver streaks in it that are really cool. But I really like it still, the ebony.
I don't know who OQSY is, but his comment is, I flippin' love Steve from Maximum. Yes, I am running behind on the stream.
Oh,
awesome. I flippin' love Steve.
I do too. He's really cool. We got to spend the day with him when we were in Colorado, and the dude is so smart. I don't have any kind of affiliate link with him or anything. All I will say is I definitely encourage you to order templates and stuff from him just to support what he does, because he works a full-time job. He's in the Army. And then he has this shop, and his products are amazing, and he's investing all this time and money into this shop because he loves it. And So it's just
and it's incredible.
And it's incredible. And it's just the coolest. We did a shop tour on this channel. It's an amazing place. So make sure you do support him if you can. Buy necks from him too. His necks are really good. Cool.
Are you ready to move on?
Yeah.
There's going to kind of be a mixture because the conversation's still trickling in. And again, it just sorts them in whatever order it wants. So please forgive me. Ed Reynolds, I've never gotten those, but I condition my fretboard regularly. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Yeah, if you condition your fretboard with oil a lot, that can affect how the wood ages for sure. You can over-condition, just like leather.
So Gary Simmons says, I made the rough rosewood comment. My G&L Legacy Strat 1996 fingerboard is rosewood, and you can feel the wear in the fingerboard when bending strings. It's like rumble strips.
Oh, okay.
Just keeping you in the left.
Dude, hey, wearing out a guitar is not, I think that's a badge of honor. That's very cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Curtis Chavez, I sort of miss the maple fingerboards that were finished to match the guitar's finish. Ibanez Z series, for example.
Ooh, yeah.
Rusty, I hear a difference between a solid rosewood neck with a rosewood fretboard and a maple neck and maple fretboard. It is brighter. Wayne Hussey, I am up so late because insane EU electricity price is cheapest when everyone normal is in bed, and I badly needed to Hoover. So I grabbed this comment because I did not know. Like, Hoover is a brand. I did not know.
It's Kleenex. I mean, it's...
Right, but yes. I never heard it used as a verb. I needed to Hoover.
With as much Top Gear as you've watched with me, you have never heard anybody talking about hoovering.
No.
And people will say...
They mean vacuum, right?
They mean vacuum. Okay. And they will also use it in other contexts, like... there's people on Reverb hoovering up all of the full tone pedals.
Give me the right word for that. What would you say?
Like buying them up because they're in short supply. Like,
so like sucking
like
them
sucking
up.
them up. Like, yeah.
Hoovering?
Yes. I've heard people say like, I've already been there and somebody hoovered up all the toilet paper. Like, you know, when there was a toilet paper shortage.
Never heard this before.
I've heard it many, like all kind of different ways.
Also, because he must be here, Doc from Canada, currently in Spain,
yes,
and said supper. And I was like, what?
Is Canadian? I think we had this conversation with Doc when we were hanging out with him.
Supper?
Yeah, the supper versus dinner.
No, we had it
versus
because
lunch.
Everywhere up north has supper clubs, even though they don't say supper. Right. Like everybody says supper is a southern word.
Right. Do you say supper where you are? As in the last meal in the evening of the day versus lunch?
Is the middle meal.
Is the middle meal.
Dinner is the... Do you say dinner or supper is the question?
Dinner.
But see, for people who say supper, dinner is lunch.
I know. It's weird.
I wasn't asking you the question.
Yeah, we're laying out the parameters.
This is
the off-topic part.
Up north, and I was like, what's the supper club?
That's awesome.
Anyway, all right.
Next question.
Wayne Hussey, I just learned something. I'm glad you got to Hoover. How do you listen if you're hoovering?
I wonder if the lady upstairs is from England or somewhere over there because she freaking vacuums at 11:30 at night all the time.
Maybe it's lower power bill.
Maybe her power bill is lower because she vacuums.
Do we have variable rates?
I don't know.
Like our cell phones back in the day? That's how old we are.
Yeah. You can't
call until it's after 9.
That's right. 3 minutes after 9. Okay, anyway.
Oh, sorry. All right. I'm a little delirious, y'all. Windsor from Maui. Dylan, I would like to see a whiteboard chart, XY axis, over under wound versus strong, weak humbucker magnet. How each affects tone. Thanks.
He's been asking me for some really kind of whiteboard stuff. Yeah, and the reason I've not done it is because I don't like how it looks on camera.
Can you just do it and take a picture? Can we do like a time lapse? Can we have fun with it?
I'm working on something. I have Yeah, I'm working on something.
I tried to find him a black whiteboard, a matte
Whiteboard.
Yes, and I couldn't, or I can, but they're like $300.
Yeah, they're
and
really
I'm
expensive.
We don't use a whiteboard enough for that.
No. Yeah.
So, anyway, the reflection is problem.
Yes. If I wasn't so picky about my video quality, I would.
Can you draw it? You have a pencil on an iPad.
Yeah, I have a pencil on an
iPad.
Record
Procreate, and you could do like.
We've done it. I've
there.
done it.
Oh.
I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've done it.
Trying. Doesn't want to draw anymore.
People really care about the actual whiteboard, though. That's the problem.
Mark Stanton. So, is the neck coming from Steve for this class? So, the neck is coming from Steve for this class coming up. Do we still get to shape it?
Yes. So, what he's doing is he's sending them, I believe they're like over. You must have read a funny comment. The necks are shaped oversized a little bit, so you can use the deadhead sander and final shape it for yourself. But I think it's going to be set up in such a way that it's not so scary, because the deadhead sander can make a mess of a neck real quick. But this is going to be done in such a way that it will be successful. But you will still be able to shape it. It's not going to be a square block, though. Yeah.
So Ken Stofers.
Yep, the wildlife show guy.
What?
Anyway, go ahead.
Ken Stouffer says our neighbor is probably vacuuming in the nude on her OnlyFans. Don't make any comments. No. That's so good, and you don't even know why.
She probably watches this.
That would be weird. Do you think people know who we are?
I hope not.
That'd be weird.
I hope not.
They're like, why is there a room all lit? They'll be thinking we're grow lights if we're not live.
Oh. Anyway, next question.
So, did you answer the neck? You did. I was not paying attention though.
You were.
Sorry, Mark.
Yeah.
Does that mean Mark's going to be in the class?
I think so.
So, Mark, you get to meet me. I'm just kidding. I get to meet you. The alternative. Opinions on titanium truss rods.
I think that the amount of money that you spend on a truss rod has a diminishing return after a minute. It depends on why you're doing it. If you really need to save weight in a neck for some reason to balance the guitar properly, then okay, I get it. But I don't think that the reason most people spend money on titanium truss rods is justified, and I think it's a waste of time most of the time. It's very much the same. I used to have a buddy, bless his heart. I still have a buddy. He's my friend. He's still my friend. In the dirt bike days, he used to ride KTMs and I rode Yamahas. And KTMs always had like a little fancier stuff, like fancier clutches, levers, and all that kind of stuff. And I'll never forget the day he paid like $150 for titanium shock bolts for his dirt bike. And I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. But he had to have them. And he would like polish them and stuff, which is cool. And it looked awesome, but there's no point in spinning it. And I think a steel truss, like this guitar has a really Gucci, like super cool stainless steel truss rod with a spoke wheel on it that's twice as much as a regular steel truss rod, and it is a little bit lighter. But this guitar does not need that. This guitar doesn't need a lighter neck. So I don't know why I would do that. That's a cool question, though. Nobody's ever asked that one. First time for that one.
William Catone says dinner's at 2:00, supper's at 6. Someone's dad, I still crack up every time I hear that, by the way. Someone's dad says, I'm from Savannah, Georgia. Supper is Southern because we still use older English words, at least in this instance. Wayne Hussey says electric rate right now is 1/5 of the daytime price at 2 a.m.
Wow.
I guess I would get up and vacuum at 2 a.m. too then. That is wild.
Interesting.
Someone's dad said dinner is at 2 p.m., at least by the old Royal Navy standard. Flappers and parvenus call supper dinner. The alternative says, being from northern Minnesota, dinner and supper are interchangeable. Timothy Potter, breakfast, lunch, and supper, Monday through Saturday. Dinner is midday Sunday, hence Sunday dinner. Oh.
Wait, what? Oh, say that again.
Monday through Saturday, he calls it breakfast, lunch, and supper. But dinner is midday Sunday, which is Sunday dinner. So he only uses the word dinner on Sunday.
Huh.
Only midday.
That has to be some sort of church-related routine. You know what I mean? Like from older times or whatever. That's interesting. I've never heard that one, but I guess it...
Wayne Hussey says, what is OnlyFans, please? No.
I would say Google it, but that's probably not a good idea.
Windsurf Maui says, thanks for reading that. Maybe you can do a blog like the old ones that are showing up in my YouTube feed every day.
Although, I mean, Wayne Hussey is already up at 2 a.m. vacuuming. There could be some money in it for him. I'm just saying.
Mike Resende says, my mom says supper's ready. I guess I don't use supper as much as I think I do then.
That's because we don't eat on any kind of normal schedule.
That's because we don't eat meals. Just saying.
You usually ask me at about way too late for normal. You know, because we're just living. You're like, are you going to eat anything tonight? And I'm like, I don't know. And that's literally, well, I don't want to eat anything after, whatever time anyway. So I can eat before 11 tomorrow.
I just had nachos while you were on Texas toast.
I smelled them. They smelled awesome.
Vinny's World. You have to say it like that. Vinny's World. Okay.
Excellent. Sorry.
Dylan, what would you recommend for a hum single Super 8 and Hot 5s setup with 2 knobs, 2 volume, 1 volume, 1 tone?
2 knobs.
Oh, it's question 2 knobs. Should it be 2 volumes or 1 volume, 1 tone? 500K or 250K?
I know why he's asking that, because his set of those is sitting right over there on the counter that he has ordered recently. And I'm going to say that I would do 500K pots with that. I would do a 33 cap with that. And I would do a volume and tone. That would be my preference for that. If you want to get super technical, you could do a volume and a stacked tone and do the single coils on 1 tone knob and the upper, and the bridge on the lower of the stacked. The downside to that is I've never ever found a good stacked tone, stacked pot with a decent taper on it. They usually kind of suck. So a couple options there.
He said, so remember we made like custom emojis and nobody ever uses them? He used one.
Awesome.
He said, awesome, thanks. Of course he said awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah. So,
Party time.
all monotone. That movie should be redone like all monotone.
That would be pretty funny.
I would laugh.
That'd be pretty funny.
Okay.
It would only be funny if you saw the first one, though.
Oh, that's true. I'm going to go out of my way and out of order so that we can acknowledge Rick Bonneville's comments, because he said he gets no love here. Rick Bonneville, Dylan and Leslie, new base day, Ibanez EBH 1000. Woohoo!
Nice.
That's what he said.
Very cool.
I don't know if he actually would say it like that. And also earlier, he would
say woohoo a. Because he's from Canada.
He already said I can't make Canadian jokes, so that's on you. I didn't do that.
Okay.
And I wasn't making jokes about Canadians. I was just saying something surprised me, like when a Canadian who's currently in Spain uses the word supper.
Gotcha. Well, I'm going to make fun of Canadians.
But Doc is my friend, and he probably doesn't care.
My whole family's from Canada.
And I teased him first
to
his face
half Canadian
via Facebook.
So
I'm not like just talking about him.
Sure.
I already told him.
Makes sense.
All right. Rick Bonneville. He had a question for Matt and Dylan. But Matt's not here, but Dylan might know.
Okay.
Can your guitar be made with double cut?
This guitar cannot, but it can be done because there is a fit-all template set that they use for those series of classes, workshops that they have, and so it can be done. Yes, it could be done. Yeah. If you're asking if you want one, yes, it could be done.
Curtis Chavez says, all these people on about dinner and supper, but what about second breakfast? What was the Taco Bell thing? It was like fourth dinner. What was it called?
What?
It's like the late night Taco Bell commercial.
Oh, fourth dinner. Yeah.
Second dinner? I don't know what it was
Yeah,
called.
what is that? I've always wondered what that was.
What second breakfast is?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably people that get up earlier than us.
We don't live...
Maybe they like eat early and then they have to eat mid-morning before lunch.
We don't live in this right
early?
time period to...
Time period? What era are we supposed to be
I don't know,
in?
but I don't think that's a modern era thing.
Second breakfast?
Did we miss a super chat?
Did we? Dang it. I don't know what that means, though.
No stairway.
Super chat from Benny's World. Thanks for the super chat, Benny's World.
No stairway. Is
that like a request?
No, that's from Wayne's World. He gets in trouble, almost gets in trouble for playing his dream Strat in the guitar store because he starts to play Stairway to Heaven, and the guy
What
comes
year did
and
that
says,
come out?
What year did that come out?
I feel like I wasn't supposed to watch it.
1989 or ish.
Oh, I definitely wasn't supposed to watch it.
Hang on. Yeah. Go to the next question and I'm going to
I feel like I don't really know a lot about it because I wasn't supposed to watch it. Rusty, Dylan, have you played a scalloped neck? What did you think of it?
1992. I
was still pretty young.
Indifferent about scalloped necks because I don't play that kind of music. I don't play the like kind of stuff.
And what is that exactly?
It's that kind of stuff. That's what they use.
Does it have a genre name?
I don't know. It's all that guitar virtuoso stuff from like the 80s. Yngwie Malmsteen and Aldo Nova and Steve Vai and all those guys have scallop necks. I don't know. I don't really have a personal use for it. Now, that being said,
everybody says second breakfast is from the Hobbits.
That's right.
Lord of the Rings. Somebody said second breakfast is brunch. And Rebel Nasty confirmed it was called fourth meal Taco Bell.
Okay. Makes sense.
I don't recommend eating Taco Bell at like 11 o'clock though.
No. I don't know. My choice for that stuff.
No, Wayne Hussey said it's a real thing. When we visit my paternal grandparents in southern England, we'd have it. An afternoon tea and evening dinner.
Oh, see, afternoon tea makes sense.
Dances with Badger says second breakfast is a thing, as are 11's, lunch, and high tea. What's 11's?
Again, I don't know nothing about. This
sounds fancy.
Sounds like Queen stuff, and we don't know about that stuff.
I would like tea though. Like if you just had to have a break.
You sound like you need some tea right now.
I've had a lot of tea today, and I should have switched to like herbal tea because I didn't think about the caffeine content in the tea I was consuming, which is probably what's wrong with me right now.
Okay, either that or it was the sinus medication you were taking.
Oh, medication too. Yeah, good times. Good times.
People in the comments are like, "Dang. She needs to get high on sinus medication more often."
I hope not. I hope that's not what they're saying. Jesse Hicks, on the topic of necks.
Yes.
Does quarter sawn versus rift versus flat sawn matter to you?
I'm not going to make a guitar choice based on it. If I'm going to have a guitar built, like if I go to Matt at Texas Toast or if I go to somebody or something, I'm going to buy something expensive. Like, John Cruz is using quarter sawn necks in his guitars, but those guitars are like $8,000, right? So at that level, I care. But pulling a guitar off the wall, I don't care. You don't care. As long as it stays in tune and it doesn't move around.
Curtis Chavez says, has anyone here played one of those aluminum fingerboards? How come some people say fingerboards and some people say fretboards?
John Cruz says fingerboard.
What is
all of the old school Fender guys say fingerboard.
Fingerboards?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm sorry. Curtis Chavez asked, has anyone here played one of those aluminum fingerboards? P.S. I hoovered all my food. Do you call it a happy plate? Wait, that means... Oh, that's bad.
Anyway, I have played them. They're very cool. I've played a fretless one, and I've played one with frets, and they're very interesting. They feel interesting. The weird part about synthetic necks, and I even, I have
Why is it called synthetic if it's aluminum? That's not
well,
fake.
not synthetic, but not natural, like something other than wood. The weird thing about man-made materials in guitars, I love them. I have 2 carbon fiber guitars, and I have a bunch of other stuff that has weird stuff. The thing you have to get used to is the temperature of the material when you play the guitar. Because like this is like inherently like room temperature-y warm, where when you pick up a carbon fiber guitar, it could be almost like cold, or if you leave it in the car, it could be really hot. And it takes a minute to regulate to your hand temperature. So you're like, this feels sort of foreign for like the first 3 or 4 minutes, and then it's fine after that. But that's kind of the weird thing. And aluminum is even worse. It takes a long time for it to like, you to be like, this feels like a natural temperature to my skin. That's the only weirdness to me about it.
Wayne Hussey says, do Americans know what supping means, as in drinking?
No, never heard that term before. I mean, some Americans might, but not this American.
All right. Andrew Collins, what do you think about the Squier Contemporary Telecaster?
Buy it if you want it. They're pretty good. All that this new Squier stuff is really good, man. We just did a video on it. And in fact, the video coming out on Monday is talking about Squier quality, consistency between guitars, because we bought more than one at the same time because I wanted to see. And it's good. Spoiler alert on the video on Monday, but it's good. Ooh. Yeah. Mike is editing that one right now.
DP. I have an Epiphone Les Paul Special with an Indian Laurel board. Don't love it. No love for Peo Ferro either. Any thoughts?
I want to know why you think that. Is it... Okay, I'll just be super honest with you, right? I have a really hard time not being mean about answering this question. Or not sounding mean. I don't mean to be mean about it, but I might sound sort of mean. I don't understand why people make such a big deal about it. I guess you might not like how it looks, but is there some sort of stigma that goes with playing a wood that looks like rosewood but isn't wood? Is it a mental thing in your head, or is it an actual quantifiable thing that you actually don't like and have a real answer for? That is really a genuine, sincere question for me. I'm really not trying to be. It sounds terrible, but I don't understand why people make such a big deal out of something other. And what I think it is, I think people think that because there are woods that are not traditionally used in guitars being used in guitars now, people's minds default to the company is cheaping out. And that is not the case most of the time. Most of the time, it's an availability thing to the factory where the guitar is made. And also a sustainability issue. And I know that you could get in the comments and argue about this for hours, but it is really a thing. I have a friend who buys all the wood and knows where all the wood comes from for all the guitar companies. You name a guitar company, I could text him right now. He wouldn't answer immediately, so it's not worth doing. And he could tell me, this is where that wood came from. This is where it came from. This is where it came from. This wood had to go from here all the way over to here. It had to get shipped from here all the way over to here. And then the reason PRS is using this wood on these SEs is because of this, and this is why PRS is using these wood. Like, he knows all this stuff, and we've had lengthy conversations about all of this. And the bottom line is, most of the myths about all this stuff is just made up, and it actually comes back to what traditionally is used in a guitar. So we think that's the best, even though it's not really the case. And I actually want to do a video about it with him, or with his help and research help, but we just haven't nailed down a time to do it yet. So I want to know if you comment. Again, I'm really genuinely curious about that. Long way around to get to that bit.
So I'm curious about the question in general. Like, if you already have a guitar, I mean, do people change their fretboards?
No.
Oh, okay. They change necks?
You can change a neck on this guitar, but there's no reason to do it.
Oh.
And that's, again, you're right. He has a guitar, and he's not cool with it. I want to know why. Like, I really want to know why. Is it because it's like having something that says Squire on the peghead? You just know it's not rosewood. Because that answer I don't agree with. I mean, you could, obviously it's your guitar and you can feel however you want about it, but that's the one I'm trying to understand it.
Feel what you feel.
Yeah, that's right. And if it doesn't inspire you, then, probably not worth it.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, that's the real thing. If it makes it where you don't feel like playing it.
Rick Bonneville says, Leslie, tell Dylan, since he mentioned Aldo Nova, that he is from Quebec.
I knew that. Yeah.
Got some Canada love up in here.
Canadian.
Busy Bee Lawns. I haven't seen you in a while.
No.
Can a guitar pickup coil be turned into a Tesla coil, which would transmit current in the wrong direction?
The answer is yes and no, because that's what a sustainer is, because it actually moves the string. But it doesn't do it Tesla coil fashion. But the short answer is a sustainer is a backwards pickup that actually moves the string without you having to touch it. So there you go.
Ison said, Dylan, pickup question. If all the materials are the same, such as magnets, wire, wind count, etc., and wound by two different people, will the pickup sound the same? I hope it's not a dumb question.
It's not a dumb question, and I always wondered that. So when we were in Kansas last year at Odessa Pickups, me and John did the exact same, what you exactly said. We made two different pickups. Well, we made the same exact pickup. Me and him used the same materials, the same wire, the same everything, the same machine, but he wound one, I wound one. We put them in a guitar, and they sounded different. Yep. And people in the video could totally tell in the comments. Could totally tell.
Kenneth Crickmore, I think I'll build an Esquire with the bridge pickup you sent me. How cool will that be?
In fact, Kenneth Crickmore is the one who got the pickup that John made because we gave those pickups away.
Oh, that was a wild back-to-back thing then.
Yeah, that was cool. I think he got John's. I can't remember. He might have got mine. I think he got John's, though.
Charles Wallace, will a P90 fit in a humbucker route? I can't even talk.
No, but we make a P90 that does fit in a humbucker route. It's a humbucker size P90, and it is on the website, and we do make them.
Wayne Hussey, that 2K valve pickup in the new gear video the other day must need some watts to run it. Surely it is a safety hazard.
Okay, that pickup, I'm just going to say it, is a flat-out gimmick. It's $2,200 option.
Option?
Option on a guitar.
Wow.
I'm sure it sounds cool. I'm sure it does a thing.
Charles Wallace says he has John's pickup.
Oh, okay. Well, Kenneth Crickmore has one and Charles Wallace has the other. So I don't remember. So
that means Kenneth Crickmore has yours.
Well, there you go. That's pretty weird that those two people made comments right in a row after that question. Anyway, that tube pickup, it's literally a humbucker with a tube on this side and a tube on this side. And in the sales literature, it says that it works outside of normal tube voltages, which is, to me, a fancy way of saying we don't use high voltage, and so therefore it doesn't do anything real. I don't know, man. I would have to talk to the guy who designed it and ask him okay, how does this thing work? You're going to have to convince me that this is real, because otherwise it's light bulbs. I don't know. I'm not convinced.
Light bulb.
I'm not convinced that it is. It's definitely, I don't see how it could be worth $2,200 option. I don't know how much their guitars cost. Does anybody know how much they cost? If you know how much those guitars cost, put it in the comments. I didn't look it up because I didn't really care. But the $2,200 option, I cannot see how that would be worth it. Except to say that you have one, I guess. But I don't know. You wouldn't gig it, because sweat would get in there and look gross. So I don't know.
I hope that is something. It is. A tractor? It's like a tractor going down the road.
Was it? It shook the whole house. I'm like, hopefully that's not.
I thought it was weather because I couldn't hear anything. And I was like,
hopefully that wasn't like a tornado coming or something.
Spawn.
Yeah. That was weird. The whole house just shook with the big rumble that came by outside. I don't know if you could hear it or not, but it was weird.
Anyway, Curtis Chavez, Dylan Pickups, P90. Yours versus Kinman HX. Have you heard them in the room? And do the Kinmans lose P90 mojo like every other noiseless pickup that I've heard?
Okay. Kinmans are purported to be better at being real sounding, even though they are noiseless. I am a bit of a hardcore on this, and I do not agree. However, people that really like them say that they are better than other noiseless pickups. Is their P90 better than mine? No, that answer is super easy, because I make the best P90 in the world. And that's the only one I brag about. We make really good stuff, obviously, and I wouldn't sell it if it wasn't good. But I really like our P90s. Really like them.
Wayne Hussey said the lady upstairs turbocharged her Hoover. It's going to be the joke now.
I know. The lady upstairs.
Jim Cunningham.
Is she a lady if she's on OnlyFans with a vacuum cleaner?
Jim Cunningham, when are you going to wind those super silent silver humbuckers?
I don't think I'm going to. I'll tell you why. I thought about this more. I don't mind buying them. I'm going to tell you what the video is going to be. I was going to buy the cheapest Squire for $259, the Squire Stratocaster, with humbuckers in it, and I was going to put those $1,000 pickups in it, just as a joke. Here's the problem. I have a good friend who is a good customer of mine who I do trust his ear. Told me that he spent a lot. He has a customer of his. He's a repair guy. He does repairs, and he's in the comments a lot. His name is Chris Hendricks. You can ask him. He's in the chats and stuff a lot. You can ask him yourself if you see him in the Facebook group and stuff to elaborate on it more if you want. But he was telling me that one of his customers had him install one of those sets of $959 Silver Zephyr pickups. They got to play them a lot. He said he got to spend a lot of time with them, and he said they were not that special. And he said that guitar now has my DAF humbuckers in it because other pickups were not that special, and my DAFs are in that guitar now. When I heard that, I was like, well, I don't know that it's worth. I mean, I would have $1,100 or something in this experiment. And then you brought up the point, and then you're gonna like debunk the myth, and then nobody's gonna want to buy them from you afterwards.
Yeah.
And I will have wasted $950 for no reason, and they'll sit on the shelf. You know, unless there's anybody out there that wants them, that wants to buy a set, have them sent here. Here's what we'll do. If you want a set of them, because it takes 4 months to get them. I called my Sweetwater rep and I was like, hey, if I order one of these today, because it says, call me and I'll tell you how long it'll take to get them because we don't normally stock them. So I called Josh and I was like, how long will it take me to get these? I texted him yesterday. And he said it's usually about 4 months to get these pickups. So if somebody wants to buy a set of those pickups and have them shipped here, I will take care of them, I promise. If you do that, I will buy a guitar specifically for that video. And we will do that video. But I'm not paying for those pickups. I would love to do it, but I think it would be a waste of money. But if somebody wants to do it, buy the pickups, I will buy the guitar.
Prove?
We will put that set in that guitar, and then we will I just think it's funny to put the most expensive pickups in the cheapest guitar. I think that's funny.
But you're going to compare them.
But then we'll put a set of DAFs or whatever else we have that's comparable in there, and play them back to back and decide if the cost delta between a $270 set of pickups and a $959 set of pickups is worth that cost delta. Even if they sound different, is it worth it? You know, I would love to do that experiment, but I don't want to spend the money. I normally do. I will normally go out on a limb for a video. I will. I've done it a lot of times. But that one is just a little, I don't know. The return on it probably isn't. It would probably be worth it, but I don't know. I don't want to. You talked me out of it. Kind of.
Because that's what I do.
Because I still might. I don't know. Anyway.
Brian Phelps, pretty sure we voted for your P90s in Dan from Guns and Guitars 335 kit build.
That is true, and I need to actually get with Dan on that and find out what the time frame and what the parameters are, because I gave him a bunch of design freedom.
Parameters.
Well, because it's
going to be one of a kind for Dan.
Right, and it's a community.
Well, not one of a kind. It's going to be a certain design just for Dan.
Just for Dan.
Yeah.
And we were actually talking about making I don't know if he's talked about this publicly or not, but him and I have had a conversation about maybe doing, after the guitar is given away, a short run of those pickups for anybody who wants them that didn't win the guitar. So we might do something like that too. Did somebody say you could find them used?
Yeah, for $600. Shiznit said that. Dances with Badgers. Do you think solid mount P90s sound different to adjustable soap bar P90s, and are solid mount kits worth fitting?
So what you let me make sure we understand the question. I'm going to answer it and hope I understand it. This pickup right here is a soap bar. There's 2 screws that go through the middle of it. Okay? And this is actually sitting on foam, but it's not really, it's like super hard foam. And so it's hard to push on it. So they're pretty much hard mounted. Then the other kind would be dog ear, like what's in that Les Paul Jr. back there, or SG Jr. has the little tabs on it and it screws straight into the body. The pickup is 100% exactly the same. The only difference is the cover and the base plate. So I don't think there's really a difference in tone. And you actually have to have not only a mount kit would be the wrong word. The architecture of the guitar has to be different because to use a dog ear like that, it sits up on top of the body and the neck angle has to be different. So they're not really interchangeable. Unless you have the neck angle built into the guitar like a Gibson, you have to use a soap bar and route it down into the body so that the neck doesn't have to sit way high off the body. So the guitar architecture has to change. But that being said, if you order a dog ear from me or a soap bar from me, they're going to sound exactly the same.
We're late. You want to keep going?
Do we have a few more?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take what we have here unless we have some super chats come in.
Okay. Jim Cunningham. So I guess the gold ones are right out. Ha ha. If you won't do silver, you won't do gold.
Nah, probably not.
Robert Buffalo. What do you think about titanium hardware?
I don't know. I think it's cool. I like titanium saddles on a telly. Sound awesome.
All right. So DP responded. He's the one that talked about what he liked in a fretboard. So his opinion on Indian Laurel. 1/3 color. It's light, dull, lifeless. 1/3 feel. Grain feels coarser, rougher. 1/3 principle. Cheaper option for budget guitars. P.S. Don't worry about being rude. I'm a career bartender.
Okay, but see, you have an answer. Any one of those reasons, I understand why you would make the choice. The budget thing, I'm going to call you out on because it's not just, and this is a thing, I want to do a video about it. It's not just about money. It's also about availability, which kind of can be money. So what I mean by that is people think that, for example, I'll give you an example. It's not fretboards, but it's bodywood, but it's for the same principle, if this makes sense. People think that poplar being used in the SE Silver Sky is Paul Reed Smith cheaping out. It's not that he's cheaping out. It's that poplar is more available in Indonesia because they have a wood over there. It's a certain type of cottonwood tree that is poplar, basically, that is available to be harvested in Indonesia. So instead of growing alder in Europe and in Russia, which can't happen right now, or in the United States and sending it all to Indonesia, they're using cottonwood because it's already there. Poplar, because it's already there. North American poplar is actually tulip trees. So my wood guy's been telling, I made a big thing about this in a video and people went nuts in the comments and he actually called me and he's like, just FYI, this is really why. So it's not that people are cheaping out on woods. It's not a budget guitar thing. It's availability to where the guitar is made, which doesn't always have to do with budget. So it doesn't always have to. So, but I just want to clarify that a little bit. We're going to dig into it more on a video, but yeah, no, awesome.
Timothy Potter says, I put really good pickups, mostly yours, in cheap guitars all the time, and they sound great. I also set them up completely and properly.
That's the coolest part. That's super fun.
Mike Jones says, I've been detoxing my gear of dirty grid electrons with solar electrons. I think it will make a difference in tone. I'm basically running my recording setup on solar and batteries. 80-watt panel has kept my setup alive for 3 weeks now. Got another one just to make cloudy days more fun.
That's interesting.
That's really cool, actually. I thought he was joking at first until he made the second comment. I was like, oh, I think he's serious.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. We could do that.
Kenneth Crickmore says, Gerald Braun in Canada put those silver round pickups in a cheap guitar and says they're not really worth the premium of the price of the silver.
I remember when he did that. Yep. Because we could use the solar in the van and then plug stuff in the van.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There's no 60 cycle hum off grid unless you're using inverters.
Wait.
That's what Mike Jones said. the same person that said all that.
I just thought of the next gimmicky thing that could make us famous. If we solar powered into a battery and powered our winder with it, then we would have like the world's only totally granola hippie solar powered.
I think you have to say crunchy now.
Oh, crunchy. Solar powered pickup winding stuff.
You better get on that. Somebody heard you. There's like well over 100 people here. So you better get over.
Don't steal my idea.
Jim Cunningham. I heard Fender used copper base plates in the later 50s. How would that affect the pickup? Would you ever use it?
It is steel with copper plating on top.
Would you ever use it?
I do. I have a pile of them.
Does it affect the pickup?
I have a pile of them over there. Yep.
Does Maximum Guitar Works have an Instagram? I don't know.
Does Steve from Maximum Guitars look like he have an Instagram? That's the real question.
I think we should go now.
I love Steve.
I mean, really, one more question. Last one. Curtis Chavez. What are the positives and minuses in an SG Junior versus the Les Paul Junior?
It's way lighter. Some people think that it has this weird neck divey thing. I don't feel like it has that problem, but I just like it. It's way lighter. That's the biggest thing. It's thinner. So that's the differences, I guess. And I would think that the neck profile would be different because I have like a slim 60s kind of neck profile on the SG Junior because it was like a 63 guitar that it's based on. And I want to say the Les Paul Juniors have kind of a fatter one. So that'd be the only difference. Yeah, pretty much. I don't think anything's one way or the other. You know what I mean? I just wanted this one.
I was like, why does this statement bother me when they said positives and minuses? And it's because it's like different families of words. Like, why wouldn't you say positive and negative or pluses and minuses or just pros and cons? But positives and minuses I'd never seen before. It was like hard to like.
That's an interesting mix of words.
Yeah.
That you don't normally say in a flow.
There's randomness for you.
Yeah.
It's been.
Thanks for hanging out with us for an hour and 15
It's been longer than that because you were on and a half. Because you were on 15 minutes early.
And thanks for everybody that sent a super chat. Thanks for everybody who watches this stuff every week. I really do appreciate it. These are so fun, man.
Sign up for your class. You can only have tomorrow.
That's right.
Is the deadline.
Yep. And if you want a guitar and don't want to come,
you can meet me.
You have to If you want a guitar and you can't come, you have to let us know by tomorrow, so that we can get the neck cut in time for everything to work out. So Yep. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. This has been great. We will see you in a video about Squires Monday at noon.